I built this giant cube factory to make me smaller cubes, to then produce them into even bigger cubes, then to turn them to the biggest cubes of them all. Welcome back to my Satisfactory Let's Play, where my motivation to see this game through combats with my struggling frame rate. Unlike my last builds, I actually want to build something kinda cool. I was inspired by this Reddit post, by this user, whose name I will not pronounce, to build a giant cube that builds more cubes. I actually wanted to make the walls with something with more style, and even thought about having smaller cubes butt off of it for like logistics or whatnot, but I'll explain why that didn't end up happening. So I go about laying foundations in the world grid by the greenfield starting location. Iron is plenty, but for those pure iron ingots, we're gonna need to bring up the water ways out from over here. I use those metal floors and columns and build a 25 by 25 foundation. Then I can go up 5 floors up for that cube. And as soon as I started building, I encountered a problem. I realized quickly that I was building into the flight path of the giant flying manta. Now, on this channel, we stan the big man. So, I didn't want our friend crashing into our factory, so I built this cube and gave him lots of clearance so the big man can fly right through. And so the building goes on for a while. I stylized the walls with windows on one side of the building, trying out some new patterns, using some new color columns, but then I encounter an even bigger problem. An old enemy, an ancient rival, my frame rate. While all these wall pieces and windows look great in a completed build, each piece is an individual asset that slowly eats away on my ThinkPad's laptop's processing power. And it's not like I'm running this on a complete potato either. I have an AMD Radeon graphics card. But still, I'm at the mercy of integrated graphics, right? So the goal of this build is to produce 12 heavy modular frames per second. This is an infamously tricky item to automate on scale. With the awesome heavy encased frame alt recipe, we can make this way easier though. The first big step is to get 32.01 small modular frames per minute. Thus I worked to get all the iron for this step alone. And thank God for the iron wire plus stitched iron plate combo. It's like the Mitch Marner plus Austin Matthews line of early iron production. And so with all this done, we now need to work on the other components of the heavy encased frames. At this point, logistics is getting a bit heavier. I need more concrete and lots of steel pipe, which I construct using the iron pipe alt recipe for the sake of simplicity. And so here we have it, the concrete, the encased pipe, and the iron pipe. All ready to join the party with the modular frames to become heavy modular frames. But the show ain't over yet. To make the heavy frames into fused frames, we need to marry them off to some nice nitrogen gas. Oh boy. Time to offer a big raise to Thomas the Tank. And by raise, I mean this giant spiral track to get my trains up to the bamboo forest. Now, for those familiar with the red bamboo forest in this game, you know it's probably the second scariest part of the game's map. First place, of course, goes to the Miyazaki Poison Swamp, now with 500% even more bigger spiders, but the bamboo forest also has lots of bauxite, which you need for that aluminum production. I'm gonna fast forward a bit here, but I built this 4-way junction between— Wait, what the hell? Alright, back up here, what's going on? Oh, come on, really? And of course, I forgot an important track piece, because of course I did. Built a simple aluminum line to get me those aluminum ingots and aluminum casings. I went down to this part of the map here for the nitrogen gas. Using the logistics network I just built, we can recycle the gas canisters in a closed loop, and then bottle the gas right back up here. Send it over to the main cube for production reasons, send back the empty bottles to be filled up again, and it's just like your typical trip to your local dusty Canadian beer store. With the frames and packaged gas joining the party, the heavy frames and the aluminum casing can pump that gas in these blenders, and out comes the fused frames. Now we are one step closer to the big one. Almost done here, just doing a quick check around and... Wait, what? What the... Like, how? How did this happen? Whatever, just shove it all into this box, I don't even care anymore. The super cube is built. Fused frames coming off the belt. And got gas and fused casings ready to go to become pressure cubes once we hit that milestone. And now turbo motors are unlocked. Join me next time as we attempt to automate turbo motors, the once most complicated component in the game. And if you watched this far, be sure to give a like and subscribe. And come join me on TikTok, where I post more Satisfactory short form content there. And thank you for watching.